Greetings YouTube. Today let's talk about Lilith. Some of you folks have probably heard other devil worshippers talking about a certain girl named Lilith. This sermon is dedicated to those of you who don't know who Lilith is, but would like to. Lilith is a very famous demoness who first appeared in ancient Akkadian mythology. Her name is derived from the Proto-Semitic root El-Mael, which literally means night. She was a female spirit that roamed the nighttime wilderness, and who was believed to harm newborn children. In some cases, it was claimed that she was the vengeful ghost of a woman who had died in childbirth. In Akkadian myth, she was called Kaskil Lila, the Dark Maid. About a millennium later, a variety of female vampire-like spirits called the Lilu are mentioned in Babylonian demonology. Like Kaskil Lila, these entities were associated with the deaths of children and pregnant women during childbirth. They were further linked with the screech owl, a nocturnal bird of prey that the ancients imagined to be a blood-drinking spirit. The ancient Greeks also believed in the existence of female vampire spirits whom they perceived as dangerous to children. These were called the Lamii, and there is no doubt that stories of both these creatures and the Lila influenced the development of similar figures, the Lilin, in later Jewish folklore. Lilith is only mentioned in the Bible once. In Isaiah 34:14, wildcats shall meet with hyenas, goat demons shall call to each other. There too Lilith shall repose, and find a place to rest. But during the medieval era, an anonymous book of Jewish folklore entitled The Alphabet of Ben Sira first appeared, and it is from this book that most modern views of Lilith are derived. Here, it is said that Lilith was the first woman ever created by Jehovah, long before Eve. Like Adam, she was created from the mud, and she became his first wife. For a while, the two of them were happy together in the Garden of Eden, but Lilith eventually got tired of always having sex in the missionary position. Since she had been created the very same way as Adam, she figured that she was his equal and she ought to be able to sit on top for once. But Adam refused to see the reason in this, and demanded that she be completely subservient to him. Lilith refused to be Adam's sex slave, so she just got up and left the Garden of Eden, by her own free will. Out in the dark wilderness, she came across the Prince of Darkness and other demonic entities, and she ended up sleeping with all of them. Presumably, old Snakey had no qualms about letting the woman be on top. From this union, Lilith gave birth to all of the Lilin, the Jewish equivalents to Lilu and Lamii. And as punishment for her desertion of Adam, Jehovah dictated that 100 of her demonic children would die every day. As the medieval era passed into the post-Reformation era, the emphasis in Lilith's story began to shift from explanations for childbirth problems to explanations for nocturnal emission among adult males. In European Christian folklore, the Lilu Lamii Lilin became known as succubi, with Lilith as their queen of course. The succubi, singular, succubus, were female demons who would rape adult Christian men in their sleep at night and steal their semen. And of course, Lilith became the one demoness who was most often called the bride of Satan. Out of all the female demons that populated the Christian world, Lilith was the one who was most often thought to be the Prince of Darkness' true love, which would make her the Princess of Hell in the latter half of the 20th century. Lilith was redefined by Jewish feminists as the archetypal free woman. It seemed to them that Lilith was more of a heroine than a monster, for in Jewish myth she was the very first woman in history to have claimed equality with a man. This association soon spread among neopagan and secular feminists to the point where Lilith is most usually recognized today, and in some cases, even worshipped, as a beneficent goddess by many people. There is even a music festival called the Lilith Fair, which is essentially a celebration of independent women in music. Some people even go so far as to claim that she has always been a goddess and that she only became demonized by the ancient patriarchies, but there is absolutely no archaeological evidence to support this. The evidence indicates that Lilith is an example of just the opposite. She was a demon who became undemonized and redefined as a goddess. I think the ancient association of Lilith with the deaths of newborn babies is actually quite relevant when we compare this to both her later role in Jewish folklore and her present-day role in Jewish and neopagan feminism. For me, the idea that Lilith had sex with demons after leaving Adam, only to have 100 of her children die each day, essentially symbolizes the practices of contraception and abortion. Think about it. According to Ben Sira, Lilith gets to have sex all the time. Every single day. She can have absolutely any man that she wants. She doesn't even have to seduce him, she can just take him while he sleeps at night. But she doesn't have to worry about raising a billion little munchkins. The man doesn't either, because his semen is stolen by the succubus, rather than ejaculated into a womb. With Lilith, childlessness is a recurring theme. Certainly Lilith is praised today by many women who are feminists, lesbians, and/or musicians. She is praised by women who value their right to both prevent and terminate pregnancies. In today's day and age, Lilith may perhaps be appropriately called the goddess of contraception, abortion, sodomy, and sexual equality.